Hi everyone. So I was taking a long time Gita, and I was getting a lot of messages from a lot of people to again talk about it. But I was taking time for a few reasons. I did chapter 4, which was all about working with detachment. Now when I went to chapter 5 was about working, but treat work as a sacrifice. So for me, it was like the same thread was carrying on. So I thought that when I come to chapter 5, I'll decode it like the way I do, but it was the same thread that was carrying on. But what was interesting in chapter 5 is where they said that treat your work as an offering to God, to whoever or whatever you think is God, including your higher self, whatever you think is God. And so when you're offering something, you're offering with a lot of love. When you're offering anything to your God, anything to even for yourself, you're offering with a lot of love. But after you offer that, you're not going there to see, oh, has God eaten that, or has my higher self really liked it? Because once you give it out, it's all out there. So that's what chapter 5 does. Chapter 5 is talking about offering and then not really looking back. So I think it talks about while you're at it, while you're doing whatever work it is, be at it. But once it's done, detach. And I think what happens to all of us is, okay, we give the exams, we take the exams, and after taking the exams, we hyperventilate. Oh, what will be the result? Oh, what's done is done. So that's the whole idea in chapter 5. That's how I got it. But I didn't get into the decoding of it because it is a small chapter, and it is only talking about, it's like a thread which is carrying on from chapter 4 to chapter 5. But I decided to do chapter 6 because again it resonated with me in a very big way, and I thought, why not do a chapter which really works with me, because it's a chapter of meditation, it's a chapter of yoga, it's a chapter of connecting with yourself. And that's something we are constantly striving, aren't we, to find our own connection with ourself, or with our God, with our providence, with whoever, with nature, in a big way. So chapter 6, of course, the verse 1, that's shlok 1, starts with again a sort talking about the word sannyasi, that who is a sannyasi. Let me first recite the verse. So today I'm going to discuss shlok 1 to shlok 9. Okay, and of course there will be, like how I do, I will be reciting some verses and some I will just explain. So the first verse goes like this: Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti cha karyam karma karoti ya sasannyasi cha yogi cha nani ragni na chakriya. So first they are saying that anashritaha karma phalam, that who is a true sannyasi? Sannyasi is someone who doesn't desire the fruits of his labor. Again, the same thread of working without getting hooked. I really feel that, if you really are procrastinating, or if you're really not being able to push yourself to work, we all go through that phase, don't we? So I really think you should then go through chapter 4 and chapter 5 in Bhagavad Gita, because it pushes you. It somewhere pushes you, which it tells you that, you have an obligation to this earth that you're born in. You're getting your food, you're getting your water, you're getting nature, you're getting sky. You have an obligation to work on the earth that you are born in. And even when in chapter 6, which is the chapter of connection, there also, I love the way where shlok 1 decodes sannyasi. Because, nowadays whenever we are talking about a yogi and whenever we are talking about a sannyasi, we give a huge religious connotation to these words. But, and just imagine, Bhagavad Gita has only been perceived as a religious text, but for me it's a way of life, in the sense, here yoga is connection. It's about connecting with the God you believe in, and your God can be your higher self, whatever. So Sri Bhagavan is saying that, a real sannyasi is someone who is going to work but will not look at the fruits of labor. So after being into the work, after delivering the job, a sannyasi or a yogi means someone who's connected, detaches. So a true yogi has a power of attaching oneself, being into the job, and when the time comes, a true yogi can detach. And that keeps you somewhere sane. And in verse 2, again this beautiful epic, this beautiful text actually talks about that who is a sannyasi. And a sannyasi is someone who's free of worldly desires. Now, if you just go a little further, that what is worldly desires? In this case, it's also, they are saying a sannyasi is someone who's connected, who realizes God, and who is free of worldly desires. Now, let's understand first is what we are thinking of as God. Our God can be our own unconscious. And I just feel that a sannyasi or a yogi here is someone who realizes his or her true desires, true purpose, true want. Because here when they are talking about worldly desires, a true yogi or a true sannyasi would know what is their particular purpose on this earth. And they are impervious to all the noises around. They know how to cut out the noises, something that we are constantly striving to do. And I think that's the essence of verse 2. And then in verse 3, they say that you can truly connect with yourself, truly connect with yourself through introspection, through meditation, whichever form of meditation you do. But a true connection can only happen if you're introspecting. And then in my favorite is Shlok 5, where they talk about, nowadays people talk a lot about self-love and understanding the self. You read all these self-help books and everything, but I just feel that, again, if one needs to really go into self-help books, this is again one text that one should refer to. So this shlok goes like this: Uddharet atmanatmanam namatmanam avasadayet Atmaiva hyatma bandhu cha Atmaiva ripur atmanam. So where they say that, the soul or the self, more than the soul, the real self can be your greatest enemy, can be your greatest friend. And so they say Uddharet atmanatmanam namatmanam avasadayet, that you have the power to lift yourself, you have the power to put yourself down. So you have the power over yourself, you have the power over your mind, the way you think and the way you don't. And so yourself can be your greatest friend, And how do we do that? Yourself is your greatest friend is when we really, really take care of ourselves, when we really, really want to listen to what we actually want, what we really desire. And it can be completely your own self can be completely disconnected from you. You can feel that you're as if you're not even in your own skin if we don't listen, if we don't heed to what we really want, to where we want to belong, to whether we belong anywhere or whether we belong in what we are. So this particular shlok is something which talks about connecting with the self, and which talks about actually what is the very modern term of self-love, 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 self-love. But this particular shlok actually says that yourself can be your best friend, yourself can be your enemy. And again, it elaborates, 6, 7, 8, it elaborates on equanimity, on balance. And then comes again one of my favorite shlok. So nowadays we talk a lot about being non-judgmental. I don't judge people. How do you do that? You have your own values, you have your own, the things that you have grown up with. Certain things are not okay with you, certain things are okay with you. So how do you do that? So beautifully, chapter 6 again, shlok 9 explains it. Surin mitrayor udasina madhyaste dvesha bandhushu sadhushvapi cha papisha samabuddhir vishishyate. So they say that, what happens is sometimes we're just so much into judgment because of the relationship that we share with certain people. So if someone is a friend, all that the person is saying is completely right. And the moment, I think that, okay, this person doesn't like me, this person is jealous of me, immediately everything that the person says is all wrong. And of course, we have this whole judgment of who is good and who is not good, who is a sinner and who is not a sinner. So they say, sadhushvapi cha papeshu samabuddhir vishishyate, that somewhere be detached so that you can go beyond judging people on the basis of, what they have done, whether that person is my friend, and if you are a little detached, then automatically you will not be either overwhelmed or intimidated, because many a times, because we are attached, or because we are so overwhelmed by a personality, we either get too detached or we don't like. So somewhere, to bring about a true control of the self, be a little detached, look at it from a distance, and then you know that you can look at a person without really judging them on the basis of what they have done earlier, whether this person is a friend, whether this person is a foe. So a real non-judgmental attitude comes when there is a little detachment. So that is shlok 1 to 9, chapter 6. There is a lot of things in chapter 6. I will come up with each of them. And you have a very good day. Bye.